The Last Camping Trip, Part 1. It was a great summer day, perfect for camping and catching up with old friends. Jake was driving toward Springwood Forest, a forest renowned for its stunning scenery. His girlfriend, Rachel, was sitting in the passenger seat, reading a book and chatting with Jake every now and then. In the back seat, Noah, Jake's younger brother, was playing on his phone unhappily as he was forced to join this camping trip by his parents to get some fresh air instead of staying in his room all day. After driving for more than 30 minutes from the hotel, Jake found a parking spot. As everyone got out, Jake's eyes lit up as he spotted Ben and Claire talking to each other while unloading their gear. Rachel smiled excitedly, watching as her friend Mia was taking out her camera and gear. The group greeted each other and talked for a while. After catching up for a bit, they began readying up for a hike. While everyone was readying up, Jake went to the ranger office to sign some papers before they began moving. After that, they began hiking as they passed by campers and looked for a good spot to camp. After a few hours of hiking, Rachel and especially Noah were having trouble keeping up, as it was their first time doing this, but with some short breaks now and then, they managed to make it. They found a gorgeous place to camp. There was a beautiful river nearby and an open space surrounded by trees. The group began setting up tents and unpacking their stuff. After a few hours, everything was ready. After having dinner, everyone began doing their things. Noah immediately went to his tent to rest after a whole day of hiking and working. As he lay down to rest, he grabbed his phone to play an online game, only to be disappointed in seeing there was no signal, as he turned off his phone and closed his eyes to rest. Meanwhile, the others didn't go to rest. Rachel and Mia walked away from the camp to take some pictures. The rest stayed at the camp, as they were catching up on what they had been doing the past year. They chatted for a while, when suddenly Claire sneakily grabbed something from her backpack. She told her friends she was going out for a walk as she went deep into the forest by herself, leaving Ben and Jake alone. Jake began chuckling as he saw Ben looking at Claire in a trance as she walked away from the camp. Ben's trance was broken by the sound of his chuckle. He stared at Jake with an embarrassed expression at being caught. "When are you going to confess to her?" Ben scratched the back of his head as he looked down at the dirt floor. "Soon. It's just that. For someone so quick-witted, she sure can be dense. If you don't spell it out for her, it will be too late." He sighed as both of them stayed quiet for a while. After a moment of silence, they heard Rachel and Mia chatting as they came closer to the camp. Everyone began talking as the girls showed the boys some pictures they took. The sun began to set as the sky got darker. Ben looked around to see that Claire hadn't made it back yet. He told the group he would go and get her, only for the girls to tease him and get a pat on the back from Jake. He didn't bother to say anything as he went where Claire had left. After Ben left, the group talked and teased about Ben and Claire as they waited for their return. A few minutes passed by as the group kept conversing, then another few minutes, then another and another. The sun was already gone, and they hadn't come back yet. Jake began worrying that they hadn't come back yet. He went and grabbed a flashlight as he headed out. The girls tried telling him he was getting anxious for nothing and that he might interrupt a moment they were having. Jake ignored them, as something in the back of his mind was telling him that something was wrong. He started looking for them, and after a while, he found Ben. At a distance, he saw Ben kneeling, with a shocked and broken expression. He wasn't crying, but he looked lost and broken. Jake, realizing what might have happened, began walking closer as he did his best to cheer him up. "This isn't the end of the world. Rejections are awful and scary, but you were brave enough to do it. It's better to be rejected than to regret." As he got closer, he stopped mid-speech as he began looking pale and shocked. He dropped his flashlight as he turned around to vomit. He looked at Ben's expression closely and saw how much worse he looked. He looked again only to feel nauseous. Blood, limbs, and organs were spread everywhere, as if they had been thrown blindly. It looked like a complete mess, especially the face. It had its eyes, teeth, and some skin pulled out, but enough to identify who it was. Jake weakly stood up as he looked for any danger around. He helped Ben stand up, but he wasn't reacting at all. Jake then began pushing Ben to make him walk toward the camp as he slowly began reacting. Ben still didn't say anything and only stayed shocked and lost as Jake looked all around on high alert for any danger. Rachel and Mia were still chatting when they heard some noise. They saw them walking to their camp. They looked confused, seeing both expressions. Before they could ask anything, Jake began telling them to pack up since they were going to leave this place. Meanwhile, Ben stood still in place as he was deep in thought. The girls were perplexed. They didn't understand why he was acting that way. They asked what was going on, but Jake stayed quiet as he entered Noah's tent and woke him up rudely. Noah got up tiredly and angrily as he lashed out at Jake for waking him up like that, but he left the tent as soon as he saw him up. Noah followed him to berate Jake, but stopped as he looked around. The girls kept asking what was happening, but Jake only said to pack up and said there was something dangerous out there. Jake then began packing his stuff as well for the others in a hurry. "Where's Claire?" Mia said after looking around for her. This stunned Jake as it stopped him for a moment. He took a deep breath as memories rushed through his brain, remembering what he saw a few minutes ago. "She's dead." Everyone turned around to look at Ben speaking. He still looked a bit awful, but he was at least reacting now. He began explaining what happened to the group as he helped Jake. He began telling them that he took a while to find her, but the moment he did, it was too late. She was killed. He avoided telling how her body was found, but it was enough to make everyone nervous and scared as they began packing. After a few minutes, they managed to pack most of everything. They left their tents and some other minor items to reduce the weight for their backpacks. Everyone put their backpacks on except for Noah and Rachel as they began hiking. Everyone was on high alert except for Ben, who would get distracted occasionally, but managed to keep on moving. If you like how the story is going, please like and subscribe to hear the second part of the story.